There was a report that came out. There's a warning about ride shares. Uber released a report saying they had over 3,000 cases of sexual assaults in 2018. Those are drivers. They say these incidents are a small fraction of the 1.3 billion rides, but admit those numbers are still jarring and they're hard to digest. I wanted to get some answers, so we called Cindy Southworth. She's a member of Uber's Safety Advisory Board, so we went straight to the top. She's joining us now from Fox 5, our affiliate in Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for joining us. This is not the first time I've read or seen a report, Cindy, on this issue of sexual assault involving Uber drivers. What is the company doing about it? I get that there are 1.3 billion rides, but for those thousands of people who've been victims, it doesn't matter how many rides you get that are okay.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tamron, for having me on. I've been a victim advocate since 1990, and I've been advising global tech companies since 2003. And this is a pretty landmark thing to have a company voluntarily release these numbers. And the numbers are sobering, but they're not surprising to me because 1 in 3 women will experience sexual violence or domestic violence at some point in her lifetime. So given that, the numbers are staggeringly high. And they happen everywhere, on university campuses, in the military, at our homes and our workplaces, and the transportation we use between home and work. So the fact that Uber is actually shining light on this and talking about it heartens me, and I want more companies to be talking about it.
You shine the light, but what are they doing about it?
So there's a couple of new safety features that have been around for a while, and then they're rolling out new ones. So I use all the time, Share My Ride, so I can share it with a trusted friend. There's also fairly recently added, you can dial 911 from directly in the app. You can also report from within the app, which I was in a taxi recently. It was really kind of sketchy. It was a Saturday night, and I didn't have any easy way to report that this was a not safe situation.
Well, you can with taxis. You can call 311. I don't want to throw taxi drivers under the bus that they're completely unsafe, because you can call 311. It says it in the back of the taxi.
I wasn't in a city where it has that, and my issue was it wasn't sexual assault. It was just erratic. And it was one of those that I would have given a low review and a comment if I had the choice, but they didn't give me that option.
What kind of screening? What kind of screening does Uber do to make sure that the drivers don't have records and certainly aren't registered sex offenders? How are you protecting us on the front end?
So as a victim advocate, I can talk about what I know of their process, and they are doing background checks on all drivers. They're also doing constant updates so that if something happens while they're a driver, they immediately get removed from the platform. For example, a drug driving incident after they've started driving. But that's, you know, as a victim advocate, I know more about their sexual assault and gender-based violence prevention and intervention efforts.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate you coming on. As you pointed out, you are an advocate for victims and making sure that we can stay as safe as possible. One thing, because you do advocate for the victims, is there something that you want to see change that has not been put into effect that can make, I don't care if it's Uber or whomever, that the industry can learn?
I'm excited that Uber has been talking to Lyft and other rideshare companies about how they can share the names of riders and drivers that have been removed from the platform for significant safety issues, because we don't want someone who does harm on one platform to then just jump over to another one. And so they're working out all the legal issues on how to do that, but I'm really heartened by that. They're also rolling out, Uber's rolling out a project with the National Sexual Assault Hotline so that a victim can get connected directly to a victim advocate like myself, because I don't want Uber trying to explain to a victim that if you go to the hospital, you might need to bring a change of clothes because they'll keep the clothes that you were wearing during the incident. And that's something that victim advocates know, but critical safety response incident responders at Uber, that's not their job. They're not, you know, I've gone to the hospital with victims before, I've gone to the police station, I've got unique knowledge that victim advocates all over the world have.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. I am heartened by the fact they're working on something to share. Thank you.